Radio, welcome to the continuation on to my Tianhe tutorial. No clue if I'm still saying that right. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So here we'll start by cutting around the area that we will work on. So right now I'm going to show you the simple version of the base body, which is this part. So we will cut it out. There will be small edits in this video from here and then, designed to cut some background noise out maybe. Just depends on how noisy the background can get. But from there, most noise will be cancelled out. So let me just rotate my camera. So we'll start by what I do is scoring. Now, I don't have the same tool as what AMX does, or Alfonso. So I get my scalpel, and I ever so lightly, don't even apply pressure, just place it down roughly on the line, and just drag it across. Now, I do this ever so lightly. I'm not even applying any pressure, I'm just pretty much just placed the scalpel down and just tugged. And I rotate it around, and go around and score this. Scoring. Goes all the way to the end. Try and stay on line. If you do need to apply pressure so you think the score isn't good, do apply the most littlest amount ever. We'll score the thing here. So you want to just try and get on the line. Place it down, just pretty much get your hand to pull on it. Applying no pressure downward, just across. So I'm finished scoring. I will place that scalpel there. I use that scalpel for scoring. It's got a blade which I've chipped and then like slightly filed down. Then we want to rotate. So I found an efficient way on cutting triangles out. So I hold it and I go and I cut this way all the way, turn around and cut this way. So so if we watch here, boom, boom. So I designed this. Now if you can see my computer in the background, you will see that I have got videos in the background. I use that to try and keep my brain fresh and entertained whilst I'm doing these tutorials. Now when I got home from going out for a bit, I saw my original video got claimed to Adobe, and then it got unclaimed and fixed, so I don't know what happened there. If you saw that, please comment down below telling me you saw that it being claimed by Adobe or something. That would be nice to know. But if it didn't come up with that, then it might have just been on my end, but I got a notification saying it was claimed. But I make no money off of it, so I don't know why they'd bother to claim it. I don't tend to make any money off these videos. I just intend to show everybody how to make it. A Patreon will be made soon, maybe. Depends. I got to set everything up. I'm gonna have anything that I make from Patreon go into my PayPal account, so then I can buy models from AMX, especially the open payload of some of the shuttle missions. I'd rather not have like 20 missions with the ISSs hanging around my room. As you see, I've gone one way with the cutting all the way through. Now sometimes my cuts won't go all the way through, so if that does happen, I do a technique called double go. So if I ever think that it's not going through properly on the paper, I'll do an initial one, and then I'll go through with the second one. That one should go through. And now we do that same technique we did going this way, the other way. So we go boom. Now I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the initial video, that in this video I will be doing the simple version of the body and the complex. I will be doing both of those to show how easy or hard they may be. But with the complex version, you want a sharp blade. You can even see it on the simple version. So you have to cut all those out on the complex version. On here, you don't have to do anything. It's already there. It's fine. But as you see in the complex version, you have to cut these little rectangles out. Everything. I don't know how you can see that because the lighting gets a bit weird. I don't have my room light on. I'm just relying on my lamp because it is still daylight here. Now, if you are watching these and you aren't following my Twitter, every now and then I will put up spoilers, but not too big, like maybe some photos from the recording, just to kind of get you guys intrigued. I don't think I'll be doing any spoilers for this video. This video I'll just kind of record small bits of edits and then upload. But for now, spoilers won't come until, like, I don't know, the next few. As you see, we've cut through all the triangles. It's pretty efficient. Now, as you see, there are some little bits that aren't, where the triangles don't quite meet the edge. Just want to cut those a bit. Just make sure they're cut. Okay, and if you do really want to check, just look back here. And if you have the triangles, you can just push them back a bit. See if they're actually cut. Which in this case, I'm lucky, they are. I'm going to do my double go technique, so I'm going across initially. Dragging it across. I went a bit off center there, so I can easily correct that by... That's kind of the advantage of the second go. So the initial one's like scoring. Then throughout these tutorials my hair will get in the way a bit. Probably still need to get a haircut. As you see, I tried to correct these a bit. I tried hard enough. So here again, we'll do the same technique with the triangles. Go across the one way. So that applies to all models that have these triangles. That's what I do. If you found an efficient way of going boom, 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 and still accurate, do it your way. But I'm going to do it my way. I try to do these as efficient as possible and fast to try and make sure the video is maintained short and not long and dragged out like these might be. Some of them will probably be dragged out if they're more complex. Like, for example, the gyroscopes, especially this one. These ones are going to be pretty difficult because you got to, there's no supports up here on this angle a bit, it's just on the straight sides. So, that's about the only challenge you might have there. And with the normal ones, you have to slide them in. I'll show you a little technique that I use that I think will work, hopefully. Now, if you feel like I'm missing something, still do please email me. I will keep adding my email in the descriptions of each video. So if you think I'm missing something at the end of these tutorials, when the whole list is completed, I will make a video saying, oh yeah, I missed out on this, so I'll go back, redo the video, not delete the original one, leave the original one there, and just add that on, maybe. Yeah. Right, now we go back the other way with the triangles. Cutting. Now, as the Chinese space station expands, and as AMX continues to release each part of it, I'll continue making tutorials on the Tianhe and its expansions. I noticed that the Shenzhou 2 was launching soon, so I don't know if AMX will make a paper file for that. If he does, I might do a tutorial on that, so that way I know that I'm up to date with everything, keeping the space station up to date compared to my ISS, which I'm still building. Currently got Zarya, Unity, Destiny, C1 Trust, Zvezda, Piers. It has Quest on it, minus the ESP2. So I think that's about it. Okay, here again I'm doing the double go technique. You can call it whatever you want, but so initially I score and then I actually go through, ensuring that I am on the line. Don't know if I went off center. I'm looking pretty good, so after this you can just kind of peel it out of the, almost like the mold. Well, as you see, I neglected to cut the ledge here. I know I did cut it, I just didn't cut it well. So I didn't do the actual check. There you go, so the piece should come loose. Now with this, you would just, I'm going to cut it away. I'll probably roll this up and install it to show you how to do it. So that I'll do it on the other one. So you take this off, place it over there. Now this is the connector that you use to place here, roll it up and place it there. And I'm just going to cut this out with scissors. Kind of got to be careful here that you try to stay on the line. So as you see, there's not much room to work here, as if you were to look at the connectors that you get on the starships, for example. Those are a bit thicker. Yet again, Starship is a bigger one. As I noted in the like kind of scale representation video, which was the first one, I noted that my phone was sitting in my SN10 model, which that's still a work in progress, as noted. So here comes the gluing now. I've kind of always done this. I keep meaning to try the AMX way, where he gets like some scrap cardstock and puts like a lump of glue in there, then uses like an off cutting from a different page, dip his thing in there and then paint it on. And I think that would work more with the complex version. As you see, starts to come off, because I kind of just went like, scribbled it on, then threw it over. So I don't know, eventually I'll find a better way. I probably need to refill my glue bottle. So throughout these tutorials you'll probably see me shaking it a lot, trying to get all the glue to come down. Next episode it might be refilled if I believe it is necessary. As you see, I place it down, I put the glue on there, and then with this I scrape off the excess. Now I just put it on my cutting board away from the cutting zone, where I cut all the pages on, otherwise the page will stick down to the board. I've done that many times. Now as you see, to hold this clean on, I put it under the board, apply pressure to where I've placed it. Now you guys might want a rag or something where you can clean your fingers on, and then kind of clean your board up a bit, clean off that excess glue that you have sitting around. I think it's every 3 models I change over my cloth to another one whilst this one's been washed. Oh, as you see, sometimes it can be a bit tough. Well, yeah, let's see. Now I press down and then pull on this, so that way I can try and get it as flat as possible. So you see, it seemed to do pretty well. Now, place it down. Now if you've watched the AMX tutorial, this part should be easy. Because it's that small to me, I put my hand on it, apply pressure here, 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 and then I also put my hand on top just to help, and then I push it down on my table edge. Pushing it around. So you want to push it up and down to try and get that extra curve. Oop, dropped it there. Now, you may not get it fully rolled, so this is the part where you place this inside and you start rolling it around. Apply no glue. I copy that with no glue. So you just kind of hold it here for a few seconds just to try and get it to mold in. As you see, when you release, kind of jumps out. Do it the other way, put this back in and then roll it up. Just kind of hold it for a few. Okay, now let it go. Now I found nothing around my house or something that will fit in nicely so I can hold it as I glue. But typically with my Falcon 9s, I found the cardboard part from a Glad wrap container useful. Especially for the Falcon 9s. If you printed your pages right, it should leave a little bit of excess area, which helps. So as you see here, I place the roll down, the glue. Now I get my piece of paper and I just go over this. See, I try to as careful as I can to try and remove as much excess glue, because if you have too much, it will crinkle off description. And then it becomes really irritating, especially if you have something like OCD. Which I do not have, so I find it fine, even if stuff does not line up. I still find it pretty fine. Just as long as I get the fair idea on where it's lined up to. With handrails, I can get a bit weird about it, but generally they line up with like some room to error. Not a lot, but some. As you see, it doesn't line up. I just kind of mold it back. This is the part where you kind of want to rub your hands on that cloth or something as you're doing this, to try and avoid getting as much glue as you can on the exterior. Especially if you're doing the simple version. If you're doing the complex and you're holding your fingers here, it shouldn't matter because the skin color cover will just go over it. If you place it on grey bits, that will show. Yeah, you might have problems, but I don't think anybody's going to be looking that close. So I grabbed one of my tweezers. Yours doesn't have to be like this. I just obtained mine from a local store called Spotlight. It's a craft saw. Most people think when they come across like craft saws, they generally think knitting and that, but you can find some pretty helpful stuff. I get paper from my local paper place, which is known as Office Works. It's where you get office supplies and everything. That's where I get my stuff from. So that's where I get my paper. Yeah, as you see now, we are folding down these tabs which we scored before, which weakens the paper. So when you push down, it weakens on that scoring and goes inwards for you. As you see, it goes inwards. And voila, on both sides. So that is the simple version. So this won't make it to here. Or maybe it could. I don't know, I'll decide that as I'm going. Most likely not, because this is going to be the one with the solar panels out and not retracted like this one will have. So this one will probably like, I don't know, sit around as a spare for one day. Because for all I know, one day I could be making each stage of the space station, where I have this, and then I'll have another model next to it that has the Tianhe and one of the science labs. Yeah, so it might come into use one day, but for now, I'm going to sit it in my little housing, pretty much, where I place all spare parts in that. So, next, we're going to cut out the complicated part. Okay, I'm just having some computer issues. Never mind, fixed. It's been redone. Yeah, so here we are doing the complicated part. Excuse me whilst my computer's been a little bit weird. Because it just it's had problems lately. So I don't know if this video will make it, but it most likely will. So as you see yet again, I don't have the watermarks. This AMX did this to stop pirates, because people out there who seem to don't have anything else better to do, like to go onto his website, take his model, put them on somewhere like online shopping and sell them for like for money, basically any amount of money. Obviously, he's been cracking down with it. I noticed he got one. He was trying to sell SN8 model, not printed nor made. Like, I can understand if it's made, you can sell that, but not for like the $60 the guy was wanting for the just the page, basically, just for the PDF. So as you may see here now, I'm just cutting away the complex version. Now I will cut this out whilst recording. So basically there will be a little edit somewhere here. So I'll cut this out here, and cut this off screen. Right, let's continue. Unfortunately, cutting all this out did not make it to the final cut, because I looked at how long the recording time was, and it had passed 30 minutes. when I looked at the recording, this had taken up about 20. So I think I'm just going to cut that out, unfortunately. But nothing really happened. The only thing I really said was cutting these out, how you cut not on the black line but on the waistline. I also, I'm pretty sure I talked about the badge. That's still work in progress. And yeah, I also talked about the future videos on how the next video would be of the docking hub and other shit like that. Yeah, so now let's continue. Now, as you see, I did say I was going to roll this, but then I had like a brain thought, basically. So when you're gluing this on, kind of use this as a reference. So if I rotate this up like this, as you see, this will align. So you want to try and do it with the window, as you see. So initially with this, I rolled this and then glued it. But I only thought of this now with the glue stick. If I glue all this and then place this on and then roll it. Now, I don't know if this will work. Personally, I kind of hope it does. But let's try this. So I don't think it'll really matter because it does set dry. So hopefully this will work. So I'm gonna go. So I'm just kind of pasting this all over, trying to get everywhere. Don't mind if it gets on the connector. That it will still, the connector will still work. Now you want to try and get everywhere. Now after doing that, you might want to do this quickly. So you want to quickly get this on here. So as you see, it's already trying to dry. I haven't even got it on here properly. Rightio. Once you start to push it down, it will set. So you see, I kind of miscalculated slightly, so there's no way you can really fix that. So maybe once you've rolled this, maybe try gluing that up. But for now, I think this would work fine. So far, I probably need to just press it down a bit more. I did press record. Yeah, I did. So I'm just going to put this away for now because I believe I do not need this. So it was sad that cutting the whole complex part did not make it because of its length. So me making this will make it. Yeah, I just looked at it and it was 20 minutes. I didn't want the videos to go past 30 minutes really. But I'm afraid it's already going to have to might go to 40. That's minus the complicated cutting part. I'll have a review if it goes past 40 minus the cutting plus that. I'll just post it anyway. My first thought after seeing how long this was recorded, I thought 2-part. Then I realised that it would have to be uploaded in like right after the first part. Mind you, there would be like a 30-minute gap whilst YouTube processes the video. Because I like the idea of processed one, let that upload, and then probably post the next one. Now, there will kind of be 2 modes to my channel, so there would be these tutorials, which is done almost like when I get home, and then there'll be the ones that are kind of done, the tutorials that are done like late at night, which will probably be the start of the Falcon 9 tutorials, which honestly I think everybody knows how to make at this point. And as you see, I've encountered my first problem with gluing the complex part on and then rolling the overlay from these edges. This might kind of cause a hassle. So I really have 2 options. Could cut this off or lift it back temporarily whilst I glue this. Yeah, but honestly, you do it whichever way you like. But for the testing of this, I'm going to do this way. So yeah, so there's kind of a few ways. So you could do the simple version where you don't have to cut the complex part out. Or there's the complex part where you have to cut this way out. One way of doing it is the way I just did it, which I think I'll probably not do in the future. This is part where you will most likely need the rag, okay? Grab rag, clean fingers as going. Yeah, so, I think I might most likely stick to what I did here, which was roll, then glue, but when I was doing that, I glued it as I was going. So I'd glue one part, stick it on, give it a good time to dry, and then glue another bit, push down, give it a good time to dry. And I basically did that process for that. So as you see, I'm just going to grab this and just hold down. Now, I'm pretty sure I noted this in the original video. Like when I say original, when I say original, I refer back to the first video I made. I do not have magnets, so I will be making these and then sticking them on. When it comes to the arm, I'm just gonna, I don't know, use blue tack to hold them down, even though it's not probably the most viable option. So as you see, this is finished. Fold these down. Now, here comes the interesting part, my audience. So you have these folded down. Don't fold these down quite yet. I'm going to leave that unfolded. Whilst you continue on to grab the next sheet of paper, which you should have, gyroscopes, everything here. Now for this purpose tutorials, I won't be cutting out small parts till like the end. Like last video will be details plus more. So that will kind of contain like the really small parts, as you may see here, which is like stuff like that. The docking ports, anything related to them that I think might be necessary on the spot, I'll definitely do. I think I've already said this, but badge is still a work in progress. Sneak peek will be revealed at the end of this video. So yeah, so what you want to do is you want to cut this out. It's very carefully. You want to go around this circle, cutting it out of course. Now I don't know if in the first video I said I'll do the docking port on the rear, but I most likely will not. That will probably be included in the video where I do the docking ports on the docking hub, and I'll probably put the rear docking port in that too. But for now that's how that video is going to go. I'll probably leave that video for once I've done the gyroscopes, the antenna. So I'll do the antennas, and then I'll do the solar panel video. But before I do the solar panel video, I'll put all the little solar struts in when I'm doing the gyroscopes. So that's the future for that video. As you see, I'm going to end the cutting of this circle part. There you go, done. Remove excess waste and place it in your bin. So here comes the interesting part, the orientation. Now this, I know AMX did a photo on this because I downloaded all 155 of them. So at the rear, so the seam line is here. Now this little black, I don't know what this is, I cannot remember, lines up with the seam line. And right under it you see this grey square with a line under it. Now I completely forgot there was a line there. So you might want to line this little, very little grey part. So you got this, and there's a little line under it. So you want to line that little line up with the seam line of this body part. Now obviously, after gluing this on, I'll glue the top part on, and then I'll make a little edit transitioning over, because I'll most likely take a break. Whenever you see like there's an edit or something, it's most likely because I've taken a break to go get a drink of water. So as you may hear, my throat does get a little dry, which gets really irritating for me. So you see, I have put glue on these little triangle parts, which we did cut out. So you just want to wipe so it spreads everywhere on these triangles. And once you're done, all the excess gets collected onto that scrap piece of paper. And then you just dispose of it whichever way you like. So here comes the part where I start getting a little magical. So with the line, I try my best to line it up. And then you kind of want to place it on there. Now, I don't know if you're a child, adult, but what you want to do is you want to press it down, and then your fingers on the inside will push the triangles onto the disc. Well, when I say disc, I mean the round part. So you just want to kind of push it as you're placing them down. I don't know which finger I'd suggest. I prefer the middle finger and the index finger, as that's what I've been using for models like this. Yeah, over the time I've learnt this from doing the modules like Unity on the ISS and Destiny and all that, and Svezda and that. That's where most of this knowledge comes from, which is from the Svezda manual. This is how I can kind of see which part goes where, just by looking at photos, really. And that's like a skill you adapt when looking at these, because AMX doesn't really do videos. Kind of have to adapt to analysing the photos and where the parts are on the sheet. So, and basically, when I can, I'll send an email to Alfonso asking him if I can make tutorials on all the others apart from Starship, because I will suggest the Starship tutorials to his video, correction, not his videos, his series sort of thing. He made like, I don't know, it was probably like 12, 13 videos on how to make SN8, the metallic version, which same rules apply to the SN8 paper version, really. The MK1, that relates to the paper version too. Now, as you see, I'm finalizing up this circle bit here. So, as I said, line the seam line up with one of your fingers, whichever one you can. You might get stabbed by here, and it hurt a little bit, but not too much. So you want to kind of press as you're aligning, and using the finger that is on the inside of this, you can kind of push it, or on this side you can push it in to try and get that aligned. As you see, I tried my best. As you see, there's always going to be some imperfections. Just finalizing it now. And kind of run your finger around it to flatten it. If you don't think yours is flat, place it down and get your glue stick or something that has like a flat edge. Just kind of up and down motioning it. Trying to push it down onto a flat surface would be smart. And that's that part. And now on the page, so you want to look for the part that says front cover of living compartment. It's got a little grey ring on the outside, so you want to cut that out. Snip, snip, cut around, snip, 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 snip. Okay, I'm just going to quickly cut this off. Right now, I think this video is heading for a good 40 minute long. Worst case scenario is it's an hour long. Yet again, I could split this into 2 parts. Or I could just edit a shit ton of it. I think from this point on I'm going to start editing the cutting out. If I see something new that you've probably never encountered, I'll probably record me cutting it out. From there, everything's pretty basic and pre-knowledged. Like a space station is kind of the thing you want to do after like a few months of modelling and you've really caught on to it. You know, the vibe, the feel. Now eventually at some point, that I've noticed with my modelling career, you get bored. You've made the same thing over and over, you want to try something new, but you just get that urge that says, it might be too hard or too easy. So what I did is I took like a few day break. At the first time I tried to take a break, it was hard. I keep wanting to come back. Sometimes I let it slip and it did. So try taking a break and then you come back with a fresh perspective. As you see, I finished cutting out this. Now here comes the interesting part. Because you can't stick your fingers in there anymore. You gotta rely heavily on pushing on one edge and it pops out the other side. So what you want to do, grab your glue. I should probably rotate this towards because I'm going to gluing. I don't want to ignore the cutting. There you go, I just did my rotation. Applying glue. As you see, discarding any excess glue. Kind of sort of going around a little bit extra. So here's the interesting part. So you want to press it down. Just trying to make sure I can. So this is part where you kind of want to make sure you get this right, because you might want to squeeze it at some point just to try and maneuver another part into it. Now this is probably where most people get stuck. So they'd be like, oh no, I can't kind of get this straight. It doesn't matter unless you're somebody who's got like something that might stop them, might tell them to do it again. I have nothing that stops me as long as I can cover any real big holes that might reveal something. Now the keen-eyed among you might spot that I changed my channel name. I did that because I thought, oh, maybe if I do something like what AMX did, which is the name and paper modeling. So for mine's more tutorials and not more. Now and then I might drop a video of like sliding up and down completed models like the Falcon 9 CRS 21 mission, which I have sitting beside me, or the CRS 3 model, which I made celebrating 1 year. I might do a little thing on that. Now, as you see, I did kind of struggle here a bit. This is live commentary, by the way. Some of you may not see my mouth move. That's because I kind of hit it because of where the camera sits. So basically what I did is I squeezed some areas to force the middle bit area to pop out. And I did that kind of all around. As you see, I've got a little imperfection, just kind of squeeze closer, and the midpoint of that will pop out. So as you see, done. Oh, here we go, we've got a little hiccup. Press it in, press that out. Tip is, when you've done that, you want to press it and then do the edge around it. As you see, done. And we'll be, give me a second. Rightio, here I am returning. Off camera I cut everything out. The only thing really to note is this is the same as the complex. You can't choose a simple version. As I did note in the prior video, saying in the PDF how, you know, you can't choose a simpler version, which I kind of wish AMX did, so I could show you that version too, which would make it easy. Now, the thing here is formers. So if you've done a model prior to this, you've seen formers. Especially if you've done Starship, you'll see two formers which you glue together. So whenever I've been doing formers like this, like these, I don't want them kind of swerve like I have had with Starship. So I grab my glue stick, start applying it on the base. Now I looked at the recording. So basically what I do in the form of editing is, on each computer there's basically photos where you can open up photos. But if you put in Cortana or you search bar and put in their video, it comes up with a video editor, which is like photos, and you basically just slap your stuff in there, your videos and all that. So I do that, and sometimes I'll edit bits out. It's almost like your iPhone or iPad recording. It's kind of like that. So basically I use that, so therefore there's like no watermark. So basically what I do is I look at it, see what parts I want to cut out. Like with the video of cutting out the complex part, I cut that out sadly because it would take too long. I've already acknowledged that this video is probably going to take a few, it's probably going to take 30 minutes, maybe 40. So yeah, so I've kind of seen that, I'm like, well, great. So as you see right here, I'm just going to glue this upper control body part together. Put that. Now, grab this. Just want to go. Now the downside to having tabs like this is, yes, it's easy to cut out, but when you go to place it over, you get this little lump. Whereas if you used connectors, it's pretty much clean. Let me just clean my fingers. On the rag that you should have by now at this point. As I noted like 5 times in this video, I think. So I just want to press down here. Grab my little thing. There we go. Just kind of make sure that's there. Right now, as you'll note, you see the holes for the solar panels where they go through with your cardstock, whatever hell your well, I saw on my accident. Where you're gonna put the skewer for what I'm using a skewer to go through and add the solar panels. Yeah, so you just want to make sure you have those holes there, and when you cut this out, the holes are here. Now, if you look, you'll note that the holes are at the base, and that's where the solar panels are going to go. And you might think, oh, they're going to hit the gyroscope here. Well, I'm pretty sure they extend out a bit just so they miss. So, now we want to place this around, kind of curve it. So, get your glue stick, whatever you're using. I don't care if you use a glue thing at this point. I'm just going to extend this out, so I'm going to try a new way of just applying the glue to the complicated part itself. So you got to make sure you know where everything is in order before you go ahead and just whack it on, basically. So yep. Oops. As you might see, you will get some blue excess. So as you see, you can kind of wipe it away, but it will set dry. So you just kind of get your rag and try and push it away as much as you can. So you just kind of press. Try to press everywhere as you can. As you see, it did get dark. Sunlight has gone down. So these were recorded within like an hour of each other, maybe less. Because I was cutting out all these and it kind of took time consuming. So this is the kind of part where you can clean off the excess glue stick from your cutting area. I completely neglected that I'd be doing this. But thankfully the glue dries quick, and then when you rub it, you can easily scrape off if it's dried. If it's wet, you can still scrape off, as kinetic energy will force it to dry almost. As you see, it kind of lined up perfectly compared to this. I kind of didn't line up properly. As you see, the little white areas for the power data and things and everything. So if I look under here, actually the former should be dry, nice and sturdy. Yours might not dry as quick. So here we have the former that goes in the top, and the top is determined by the holes here. So this is the top where I'm folding all the little triangles now. Now if you look, this finger should be able to reach. Now, if you're a child and you don't have such big fingers, maybe get the assistance of your parents. If your parents won't help, try your best to find something that will fit down here. Maybe the scalpel you're using, but in saying this, I should have advised, if you're a child and you're doing this and you still haven't gotten as much experience, maybe get your parents to overwatch you whilst you're doing it. Unlike me, my parents kind of trusted me immediately. And just apply glue. Just can't knock that. Okay, then we place this on here. Now as you see, there's no line to kind of make sure it lines up, so really you're just going to make sure. Clean off excess glue. As you see. Now I think with the Falcon 9 models and tutorials for that, I might do like a live stream whilst recording it, but I want a dual camera for that, so the phone will be the primary recording whilst I have like a camera or something that feeds into my computer and streams from, I don't know, from maybe from like the front side, so you're looking at me almost. So just gotta press down. I think that's pretty good. Just gotta push my finger. Let's see, we could use this. Ooh, as you see, my Crew 2 second stage and Dragon on top of falling down. Yeah. So we'll just set that back up. And as you see, it's in there, nice and firm. Oh, not right. Okay, pick this up. So what you want to do is place this down. So it's basically a chain reaction on my desk. When you hit something, one thing falls over, obviously something else is going to fall over. So basically you just want to get your tweezers and kind of roll on this. So when you get something like this, if you see the little tab things, you want to put your tweezers through here and just roll through. And this is similar to when you're doing like the engines on the Falcon 9. Same deal, you kind of want to do that, except they're smaller. That includes the Raptors for the Starship model, actually. See, I'm just getting rid of excess glue. And then we kind of... So you want to line these up. As you see, there is some detail that will cover the seam line. That will not be included. That will be included in the gyroscope video. As you see, they line up pretty good. As you see, there actually is a little window. And if you look here, here's the arrows that point. So seam line would point that way to create the non-center angled looking gyroscopes. Alright, yeah, so what we want to do is we want to grab the former and you want to place it in there. Oh, turkeys. Yeah, so you want to place it in there and you want to glue it in there and it'll form a strong cone. What we could do is place this on top, but in the photos I've got, Alfonso puts the disc in and then puts the top in. So yeah. Nope. Removing major excess. Boop, boop. Once the excess has been removed, so you want to kind of place it in there. former fits in there pretty nice. So you see, it will leave it like a 1.5 mil, like over here. Kind of roll it around. Now, because we flatten the glue out, it will dry way quicker. So now, so you can see it there. Whilst you have the, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this as the little part that connects to the docking hub. Now you want to roll this with your tweezers. Well, yeah, so it's all white, so you see this little black mark where it turns into a triangle? Struggling with the glue bottle, that should be refilled by next episode. Correction, next tutorial video. So you want to place the glue a little bit over that line, because you might want to place it right on the line. Technically, from what tutorials I've seen, you don't place on the tab side, you place on the other side, where the tab is not located. So that's on there. So this goes on top here, with the rule, seam line to seam line. So the seam line is here. Now I go ahead and apply glue. There you go. My thing. Remove excess. There we go. So you want to place it on the top where you placed this circle before. As you see, you want to kind of push it down. Place it down. Well, you don't want to force it down too hard. You want to kind of lightly press. If you can hear that, I'm actually just lightly kind of pushing them together, trying to pressure the glue sort of into drying. So it won't fully be dry, it'll just start to dry. As you see, this is most likely going to be dried by now. Oops. Overestimated. Okay, maybe if I can, that's a little tip. You might want to apply it just on the edge, not all the way up. So I did, accidentally. Let me just do that. Try and remove the excess from the I might have to get a new piece of paper. So it's starting to wear. There we go. Yeah, when I was cutting this out, the tip of my blade broke. Luckily, I had already cut out this part, so from here it doesn't really matter if it's broken or not. Well, for me it doesn't matter because I don't think I need it. If I do, I will change the blade. So here comes the interesting part. Putting this onto here. Now, former dry. This will dry, but it doesn't really matter from my perspective. Okay, I'm just shaking. Make sure that all glue is settled. So you see, I don't go all the way around because I'm pretty sure this amount can maybe even over cover Maybe I should start just going halfway around. Kind of spread it everywhere. Okay, remember, seam line to seam line, guys. So as you see, the seam line here, we'll just... So what you want to do is you want to place it in the white circle and have none of the white showing, but you can have the grey showing. So you just want to kind of push it out and As you see, I start tapping this because it kind of pushes down the glue, which yet again kind of tries to force it to kind of force it to glue together, I suppose. So as you see, we're going to glue this as the last part. Probably cover these in a different video because this video has already dragged on too long. I'll most likely save these to the small details. No, actually, I'll save it till the arm, because then that way I kind of know to do it, because I'm doing the arm, which would probably make my head think. So see, as you may see, I'm wiping away the excess glue. I do realise I have become a little quiet. It's almost 8 o'clock and I'm getting a little tired. Correction, sorry, it's almost 6. Here we go. Here we go, just kind of. As you see, I kind of hold it and apply pressure. Yet again to find holding it down to as you see, the glue will dry and your model will hold there. So I think that might conclude the end for this episode. Oop. Radio. I'm going to end this episode of the tutorial here, leaving us at this stage of the model, having the main body completed, ready for the add-ons of the docking hub and the gyroscopes. They might be separated into videos. I could be possibly doing this and all. I don't know really. I'm kind of go along as it happens. So far, will most likely be on the docking hub, and depending on how long the recording for the gyroscopes will be, that would choose if I include them in the same video. And if it's just enough or maybe too short, I'll still post it and give a badge update like I will. So that's where I'm going to conclude the modeling part of the video, and I will now take you to the badge and its progress.